It's 2:47 a.m. on a crisp March morning in 2024. High atop Haleakala, Hawaiian island of Maui, the Atlas telescope facility sits in perfect silence, its automated systems scanning the heavens with methodical precision. Most of the world sleeps unaware that something extraordinary is about to unfold. The facility's computer algorithms have been running their nightly routine for hours, comparing thousands of images, looking for anything that moves against the static backdrop of stars. But tonight, at exactly 2:47 a.m., an alert flashes across the monitoring station. Dr. Sarah Chen, the duty astronomer, glances up from her coffee with mild interest. False alarms are common, but as she pulls up the data on her screen, something makes her pause. The object's motion is unusual. It's moving fast, really fast, and in a direction that doesn't match anything in their database. You see, when we talk about objects in space, most follow predictable paths. Asteroids orbit the sun in elliptical patterns. Comets swing in from the outer reaches and return on schedule. But this object's trajectory is hyperbolic, meaning it's moving so fast that gravity can't capture it. It's just passing through. Within hours, observatories worldwide are turning their instruments toward this mysterious visitor. The initial calculations are stunning. This object is traveling at over 44 kilometers per second relative to the sun. That's fast enough to escape our solar system entirely, which means it didn't originate here. It came from somewhere else, somewhere between the stars. This makes it only the third confirmed interstellar object ever detected. The first was Oumuamua in 2017, that cigar-shaped visitor that puzzled scientists with its strange acceleration. The second was Borisov in 2019, which behaved more like a traditional comet. But this new arrival, quickly designated 3IATLS, seems to occupy a category all its own. Dr. Chun and her colleague, Dr. Robert Kepler from the University of Arizona, begin tracing its trajectory backward through space and time. The results are remarkable. 3IATLAS appears to have originated from the direction of constellation Lyra, having traveled for potentially millions of years through the cold void between stars. But even in these early observations, something doesn't quite add up. The object's brightness varies in ways that suggest it's tumbling, but the pattern isn't random. There's an almost rhythmic quality to it. More puzzling still, its trajectory shows tiny but measurable deviations from what pure gravitational mechanics would predict. Dr. Kepler notices it first. "Sarah," he says, pointing at the orbital projection, "look at this course correction here and here. It's subtle, but it's definitely there. The changes are minute, fractions of a degree, but in the precision. World of celestial mechanics, they might as well be neon signs." As word spreads through the astronomical community, telescopes across the globe begin tracking this visitor from the void. What they find in those first few weeks sets the stage for one of the most profound mysteries in the history of space science. Because 3I Atlas isn't behaving like any natural object they've ever encountered. The brightness variations continue. following patterns that seem almost deliberate. The trajectory corrections become more pronounced, and in the quiet hours of those early morning observations, a question begins to form. What if this visitor from the void isn't as natural as it appears? As 3ITLS draws closer to our sun, it begins to reveal its secrets through the ancient language of light, but the story it tells is unlike anything astronomers have encountered before. Spectroscopy is one of astronomy's most powerful tools. When sunlight hits an object and reflects back to Earth, it carries a fingerprint of that object's composition. Different elements absorb and emit light at specific wavelengths, creating unique signatures that astronomers can read like a cosmic barcode. Dr. Maria Santos at the Keck Observatory is among the first to capture detailed spectroscopic data from 3IATLAS as she analyzes the wavelengths of light reflecting from its surface. Her excitement quickly turns to confusion. This doesn't match anything in our databases, she tells her colleague. It's showing signatures of both organic compounds and metallic elements, but in combinations we've never seen. The spectral analysis reveals complex hydrocarbon molecules, the building blocks of organic chemistry. But these particular molecules are arranged in patterns that don't occur naturally in the cold vacuum of space. They're too ordered, too structured, almost as if they've been designed. The metallic signatures are equally puzzling. The spectra show traces of titanium, aluminum, and rare earth elements, but in ratios that don't match any known asteroid or cometary composition. Similar reports begin flooding in from observatories worldwide. The European Southern Observatory's very large telescope captures even more detailed spectra, revealing something that makes the scientific community take notice. Embedded within, the hydrocarbon signatures are patterns that correspond to graphene, sheets of carbon atoms arranged in hexagonal lattice. Graphene is incredibly strong and conducts electricity better than copper. It's also something that, until recently, we could only create in laboratories. Dr. James Morrison from Cambridge University puts it bluntly. We're looking at material science that's beyond our current capabilities. These aren't random molecular arrangements formed by cosmic processes. These are engineered structures. But the spectroscopic mysteries are just the beginning. As 3I Atlas continues its approach, researchers analyze its rotation and light curve. Most asteroids tumble randomly, their brightness fluctuating in chaotic patterns. But 3IATLAS rotates with almost mechanical precision. The object completes one rotation every 7.34 hours, and this period remains absolutely constant. There's no wobble, no gradual change you'd expect from a natural object that's been tumbling through space for millions of years. It spins like a perfectly balanced gyroscope. The shape this rotation reveals is equally intriguing. Based on light curve analysis, 3IATLAS appears to be roughly 400 meters long and perhaps 40 meters wide, giving it an aspect ratio of 10:1. It's far more elongated than any natural asteroid in our solar system. Dr. Lisa Zhang at MIT creates computer models to understand how such an object could have formed naturally. Her simulations consistently fail to produce anything resembling 3.1 ATLAS's precise proportions and rotation characteristics. Natural collision processes just don't create objects like this, she concludes. The physics doesn't work out. Thermal imaging from the Spitzer Space Telescope adds another layer to the mystery. Most space objects heat up and cool down predictably as they rotate, but 3IATLAS shows unexpected heat distribution patterns. Certain sections maintain consistent temperatures regardless of their orientation to the sun, suggesting internal heat sources or advanced thermal management systems. The radar observations provide perhaps the most startling revelations. When radio waves bounce off natural asteroids, they return in scattered, chaotic patterns. But the radar echoes from 3IATLAs show distinct geometric patterns, straight lines, right angles, and regularly spaced surface features. Dr. Anthony Martinez, analyzing the radar data at JPL, notices something that makes him pause. These reflection patterns are reminiscent of manufactured surfaces. The regularity suggests artificial construction rather than natural formation. As spring turns to summer in 2024, scientific papers begin appearing in journals, each adding another piece to an increasingly impossible puzzle. The peer review process becomes unusually intense, with reviewers struggling to accept conclusions that challenge fundamental assumptions. But in the classified briefing rooms of NASA, ESA, and other space agencies, a different conversation is taking place. The spectroscopic whispers from 3IATLS are telling a story that's both wondrous and deeply unsettling. The story of an object that appears to have been manufactured by an intelligence that understands materials, science, and engineering in ways that surpass our current capabilities. In the precise world of celestial mechanics, objects follow predictable paths. Newton's laws govern the dance of planets, asteroids, and comets with mathematical certainty. But 3i Atlas is about to shatter those certainties in ways that will force scientists to confront possibilities they've never had to consider. Dr. Elena Kowalski at the European Space Agency has been tracking 3i Atlas since its discovery, updating orbital predictions as new observations come in. But on a quiet Tuesday morning in June 2024, her latest calculations reveal something that makes her double-check her data. The object is off course, she announces to her colleagues. Not dramatically, the deviation is tiny, measured in fractions of a degree. But in orbital mechanics, tiny deviations compound over time. What starts as a minor course correction becomes a completely different trajectory. The immediate assumption is measurement error, but as observations pour in from telescopes worldwide, the conclusion becomes unavoidable. 3i Atlas is accelerating in ways that gravity alone cannot. Explained that this isn't the first time astronomers have encountered such a phenomenon. Alma showed similar anomalous acceleration attributed to outgassing as the object heated up near the sun. Ice sublimated, creating tiny jets that acted like natural rocket engines. But 3IATLS's acceleration is different. It's stronger, more consistent, and most puzzling of all. It seems to occur at specific moments rather than continuously. The trajectory analysis shows that the object makes course corrections at precise intervals, almost as if following a predetermined schedule. Dr. Michael Rodriguez at Caltech specializes in non-gravitational forces acting on small bodies in space. His findings are deeply troubling. If this were outgassing, he explains, we'd expect to see jets of material, spectroscopic evidence of sublimation, and irregular acceleration patterns. We see none of that. The acceleration analysis reveals something even more extraordinary. The forces acting on 3I Atlas are not only stronger than what outgassing could produce, but they're also precisely directed. Each course correction moves the object along vectors that optimize its trajectory through the solar system. Think about it this way. Imagine driving through an unfamiliar city, but somehow knowing exactly when to turn, which lanes to use, and how to avoid traffic jams you couldn't have predicted. That's essentially what 3I Atlas appears to be doing. As it navigates through our solar system's complex gravitational environment, Dr. Amanda Foster at Johns Hopkins runs computer simulations trying to match the observed acceleration patterns with known physics. Solar radiation pressure can't account for the magnitude of the forces. Neither can magnetic effects or tidal forces from planetary encounters. We're dealing with accelerations about 10 times stronger than what we observed with Oumuamua, she notes. And the direction vectors show intentionality that natural processes simply don't exhibit. Breakthrough comes when Dr. Rodriguez plots the acceleration vectors in three-dimensional space. Instead of random directions based on solar heating, the forces consistently point in directions that achieve specific objectives, avoiding close encounters with asteroids, optimizing solar energy exposure, and maintaining a trajectory that provides optimal observation angles of Earth and the other inner planets. In other words, 3I Atlas isn't just accelerating, it's maneuvering with purpose. The implications hit the astronomical community like a shockwave. Dr. Yuki Tamaka from the Japanese Space Agency puts it succinctly, we're not looking at a natural object anymore. We're looking at something that exhibits controlled flight characteristics, but controlled by what? And how? The absence of visible exhaust, the lack of heat signatures that would indicate propulsion systems, and the complete silence in radio. Frequencies typically associated with spacecraft engines makes the acceleration even more mysterious. If 3IATLAS is under intelligent control, it's using technology that operates beyond our current understanding of physics.NASA convenes an emergency classification review in late June. The meetings are close to the public, attended only by senior scientists and government officials with the highest security clearances. Certain aspects of the object's behavior will be classified, restricted to a need-to-know basis. As summer progresses and 3ITLAS continues its precisely controlled journey through the inner solar system, a small group of scientists begins working on classified analyses. Their findings explore possibilities that challenge everything. We thought we knew about our place in the universe, the mathematical precision of the trajectory corrections, the apparent optimization of the flight path, and the complete absence of conventional propulsion signatures point to a conclusion that's both thrilling and terrifying. 3i Atlas isn't just visiting our solar system, it's surveying it with intelligence and technology that far exceeds our own. Deep in the New Mexico desert, the Very Large Array spreads its 27 radio telescopes across the high plains, each dish constantly listening to the whispers of the cosmos. It's here, in late July 2024, that the mystery of 3i Atlas takes its most profound turn, when silence becomes sound and sound becomes something that changes everything. Dr. Rebecca Martinez has been monitoring 3i across multiple radio frequencies for weeks, looking for any electromagnetic emissions that might explain its anomalous behavior. As 3i Atlas approaches its closest point to the sun, her receivers begin picking up something unprecedented. At first, it's just a whisper above the background noise, a faint, regular pulse at 1420.4 megahertz, the frequency of neutral hydrogen. This is significant because it's a frequency that any technologically advanced civilization would know intimately. Hydrogen is the most abundant element in the universe, and its spectral line serves as a natural cosmic reference point. But these aren't random emissions. As Dr. Martinez analyzes the signal structure, patterns emerge that make her hands tremble. The pulses arrive in groups, and those groups follow mathematical sequences that no natural process could generate. We're seeing prime numbers. She reports in an encrypted transmission to NASA headquarters. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13. The sequence continues for exactly 47 primes, then repeats. After that, we get mathematical constants, pi to 15 decimal places, then Euler's number, then the golden ratio. The implications are staggering. These are structured communications, encoded with mathematical knowledge that could only come from intelligence. Dr. James Chen at the National Security Agency's Crypto Analysis Division is brought in to examine the signals. The mathematical sequences serve as a kind of universal greeting, he explains in a classified briefing. Any civilization that has developed radio astronomy would recognize these patterns. They're saying, in essence, we know mathematics. We know physics. We're intelligent, but the transmissions are more complex than simple mathematical proofs. Embedded within the structured sequences are data packets that contain positional information, coordinates, vectors, and timing data that correspond exactly to 3i Atlas's trajectory through the solar system. The object isn't just broadcasting its intelligence. It's providing real-time navigation data. Even more unsettling is the discovery that these emissions didn't begin when 3i Atlas entered our solar system. Radio telescopes that archive their data find similar signals in their historical records, stretching back months and years. The transmissions appear to have started when the object was still beyond Pluto's orbit. Dr. Martinez coordinates with observatories worldwide to conduct comprehensive analysis. The Arecibo Observatory, the Green Bank Telescope, and radio telescopes in Australia and Europe all confirm the same finding. 3i Atlas has been broadcasting continuously throughout its journey, and the nature of those broadcasts changes as it encounters different regions of space. When it passed near Jupiter, the signal patterns shifted to include information about gravitational resonances, reports Dr. Lisa Zhang from MIT. Near Mars, the emissions contain data that matches the planet's orbital mechanics with precision that exceeds our own measurements. It's as if the object is cataloging everything it encounters. The most disturbing discovery comes when researchers analyze the transmission patterns during 3i Atlas's approach to Earth. The emissions don't just intensify, they become incredibly complex, carrying data streams that appear to contain detailed information about our planet's electromagnetic signature, our radio and television broadcasts, and even the characteristic frequencies of our GPS satellite network. Dr. Rodriguez makes the connection that sends shockwaves through the classified briefings. It's scanning us. The object is conducting an active survey of Earth's technological civilization. The classified NASA working group faces an unprecedented decision. The radio emissions represent either the greatest scientific discovery in human history or the most significant security threat our species has ever encountered. Possibly both. The official decision comes from the highest levels of government. Information about 3IS to LAS's electromagnetic emissions will be classified at the highest levels. Public disclosure could cause panic, disrupt global communications, or compromise humanity's response to what is clearly a first contact scenario. But the signals continue, telling a story that grows more complex each day. The object's emissions include frequency sweeps that match the resonant frequencies of Earth's ionosphere, data packets that correspond to major population centers, and signal analyses that demonstrate understanding of human technology that rivals our own knowledge. As August approaches, the radio emissions reveal something that chills the classified briefing rooms to silence. The object's transmissions occasionally spike in intensity when aimed at specific regions of space, regions that correspond to nearby star systems. The realization dawns: 3IATLAS isn't operating alone. It's reporting back to something. Somewhere among the stars, other intelligences are receiving detailed reports about our solar system, our planet, and our civilization. The secret NASA report that emerges from these discoveries will never see public release. For those with access to its classified pages, one thing becomes crystal clear. Humanity's first contact with extraterrestrial intelligence isn't happening in the future. It's happening right now. BROADCAST across the radio spectrum by a visitor that sees everything, records everything, and reports everything back to civilizations among the stars. In a secure facility beneath the Johnson Space Center, behind vault doors that require multiple levels of clearance, sits a document that may be the most important text ever written by human beings. The classified NASA assessment of 3IALAS represents our species. First attempt to understand what it means to be observed by a superior intelligence from among the stars. Dr. Patricia Williams, NASA's Deputy Administrator for Science, assembled the team that would author this document, bringing together specialists in astronomy, physics, xenobiology, signal processing, and psychology. The group worked in complete secrecy throughout the summer of 2024. Their mandate was simple yet profound. Determine what 3I Atlas represents and what its presence means for humanity's future. The report's executive summary contains conclusions that would fundamentally alter human civilization's understanding of itself. Based on comprehensive analysis, it begins. 3I Atlas represents technology of non-terrestrial origin, exhibiting capabilities that exceed current human understanding of physics and engineering. The object's behavior patterns are consistent with an autonomous reconnaissance probe designed for comprehensive planetary system analysis. But the report goes much deeper than simple identification. Its most profound sections explore the implications of living in a universe where civilizations routinely monitor each other across interstellar distances. The document introduces what researchers have dubbed the galactic internet hypothesis, the theory that advanced civilizations maintain networks of autonomous probes that continuously survey and report on planetary systems throughout the galaxy. Dr. Michael Chun, the report's lead xenobiologist, contributed an analysis that challenges every assumption about our cosmic isolation. The technical capabilities demonstrated by 3IATLS suggest a civilization that has mastered technologies we've only theorized about, he writes. Room temperature fusion, metamaterial construction, gravitational manipulation, and quantum communication systems all appear to be incorporated into this single object. The object's apparent age, determined through cosmic ray exposure patterns, tells a story spanning geological time. Preliminary estimates suggest 3I Atlas has been traveling between star systems for at least 50,000 years, possibly much longer. This isn't a recently launched probe, it's an ancient wanderer conducting surveys since before human civilization developed. Agriculture. The report's most unsettling section deals with information harvesting protocols. The detailed analysis reveals that 3I Atlas doesn't just observe passively, it actively probes electromagnetic environments around planets, analyzing communication patterns, technological signatures, and atmospheric composition with unprecedented precision. The object's scanning protocols demonstrate knowledge of what technological signatures to look for, notes Dr. Rodriguez. It knows how to identify radio communications, radar systems, satellite networks, and electromagnetic signatures of industrial civilization. This suggests its creators have encountered technological species before, possibly many times. The mathematical models paint a picture of systematic exploration operating on galactic scales. If civilizations are deploying probe networks like 3I Atlas throughout the galaxy, The implications for the prevalence of intelligence in the universe are staggering. Rather than rare anomalies, technological civilizations might be common enough to warrant continuous monitoring. Perhaps the most profound revelation comes from trajectory analysis. The path 3I Atlas followed to reach our solar system passes near at least 17 star systems known to host potentially habitable planets. Its route isn't random, it's a carefully planned survey. Mission collecting data on multiple planetary systems during its journey. We're not dealing with a single probe exploring our system in isolation, concludes Dr. Kowalski. We're seeing one component of what appears to be a galaxy-wide monitoring network. The implications for the prevalence of intelligent life are unprecedented. The report explores what researchers call the observation paradox. If civilizations routinely monitor developing planets, why haven't they made contact? The analysis explores several possibilities. Direct contact might be restricted by protocols designed to prevent interference. Earth might not be considered sufficiently advanced for contact, or contact protocols might depend on how civilizations respond to being observed. The psychological analysis section explores the profound impact that knowledge of 3I Atlas could have on human civilization. The confirmed existence of vastly superior intelligence among the stars would fundamentally alter every aspect of human self-perception, writes Dr. Amanda Foster. Religious, philosophical, and political systems would face unprecedented challenges. This analysis becomes the foundation for the report's most controversial recommendation, the continued classification of 31ATLA's true nature. The assessment concludes that humanity isn't psychologically prepared for the reality of being observed by superior intelligences. The report's final sections explore what 3I Atlas might have learned during its survey. The object's emissions pattern suggests it has cataloged Earth's technological signatures, analyzed our communication protocols, and possibly intercepted significant portions of our digital communications. From the perspective of the intelligence that created 3I Atlas, the report concludes, humanity is no longer a pre-technological species. We have been classified, cataloged, and reported upon. Somewhere among the stars, other intelligences now know of our existence, our capabilities, and potentially our limitations. The document ends with a question that haunts everyone with access to its classified pages. Now that we know we're being watched, what do we do with that knowledge? As autumn arrives in 2024, 3IATLAS begins its inevitable departure from the inner solar system. Like all interstellar visitors, it carries the momentum of its cosmic journey, bound by gravitational laws that brought it to us. But its leaving is unlike any natural object's departure. It's a carefully orchestrated withdrawal that tells the final chapter of humanity's first confirmed encounter with intelligence. From beyond the stars, Dr. Sarah Chun, now permanently assigned to the classified monitoring program, watches the departure with mixed emotions. For 6 months, this visitor has challenged everything we thought we knew about our place in the universe. As it recedes beyond Mars' orbit, its radio emissions growing fainter each day, she realizes they're witnessing the end of humanity's cosmic childhood, the final trajectory. Analysis reveals the most profound evidence yet of 3I-ATLAS's artificial nature. As it departs, the object makes one last series of course corrections that align its path with surgical precision toward the Alpha Centauri system. It's not heading there by accident, it's going home, or at least to its next assignment. The departure trajectory is optimized to reach Alpha Centauri in approximately 24,000 years, reports Dr. Kowalski. The object has calculated a path that will take it directly through the habitable zones of both Alpha Centauri A and Proxima Centauri. This isn't coincidence. This is navigation with purpose. The radio emissions that have fascinated researchers throughout the visit reach their crescendo during departure. Instead of structured mathematical sequences that characterized its approach, 31ATLAS begins broadcasting what can only be described as a comprehensive data package, a final report containing the sum total of its observations. Dr. Martinez captures these final transmissions with scientific excitement and profound melancholy. The data streams are incredibly dense, she notes. We're seeing compressed information that includes spectroscopic analysis of all the planets, detailed mapping of asteroid populations, and what appears to be a complete catalog of Earth's electromagnetic signatures. But perhaps most significantly, the final broadcasts include something new: structured signals directed not toward distant star systems, but toward specific regions of interstellar space. The implications are staggering. 3I Atlas isn't just reporting to its home civilization. It's communicating with other probes, conducting similar surveys throughout the galaxy. Dr. Rodriguez's final analysis suggests 31ATLAS has been part of a coordinated observation network from the beginning. The timing and frequency of its transmissions indicate scheduled check-ins with other components of what appears to be a galactic monitoring system. He concludes, "We're witnessing a handoff in an intelligence network that spans light years as 3I Atlas moves beyond effective observation range. The psychological impact on research teams is profound." Dr. Foster struggles with the realization that humanity has been observed and evaluated by intelligence operating on timescales we can barely comprehend. We're like a newly discovered species that's just realized it's been living in a nature preserve, she observes. The classified report that emerges from the departure is even more sobering than previous documents. The object's final behaviors suggest its survey mission was not just observational but evaluative. The patterns in its final transmissions indicate that Earth has been classified according to criteria humanity doesn't yet understand. The most profound realization comes from the trajectory analysis. 3I Atlas isn't just heading toward Alpha Centauri, it's following a path that will take it past dozens of star systems over the next several million years. Each stop appears carefully planned to optimize gravitational assists in energy conservation. We're looking at navigation planning that operates on geological timescales, notes Dr. Kowalski. This object's mission isn't measured in years or decades, it's measured in eons. The civilization that created it thinks and plans in deep time. As winter settles over the observatories that tracked 3-1 Attil IS throughout its visit, a new reality takes hold among those privy to the classified findings. Humanity is no longer searching for signs of intelligent life in the universe. We found it, and more importantly, it has found us. The search for extraterrestrial intelligence continues, but with a fundamental shift in perspective. SETI programs now look not just for signals from distant civilizations, but for signs of other monitoring probes that might be observing our solar system. Dr. Chen, reflecting on the months of observations and discoveries, recognizes that 3-Eye Atlas has left humanity with more questions than answers. We now know we're being watched, but we don't know by whom or why, or what criteria they use to evaluate the worlds they observe. What we do know is that the universe is no longer the empty, lonely place we once imagined. It's a vast network of civilizations that monitor each other across the darkness between stars, sharing information that spans millions of years. Earth has been added to that network, cataloged and reported upon by an intelligence that has been watching worlds develop since before our species learned to control fire. As 3-1 LAS disappears into the depths of interstellar space, carrying with it a complete record of human civilization in 2024. It leaves behind a species forever changed by the knowledge that we are not alone and that we never were. Somewhere among the stars, in civilizations that measure their history in geological epochs, beings now know of our existence. In the end, our first confirmed contact with extraterrestrial intelligence wasn't the dramatic arrival we imagined in science fiction. It was quiet, methodical, and profound, a reminder that in a universe billions of years old, intelligence has had time to develop patience, wisdom, and the long perspective that comes with traveling between the stars to watch over worlds like ours. The secret NASA report remains classified, but its implications ripple through the scientific community. We are no longer alone. We are no longer unobserved. We are no longer innocent of the knowledge that superior intelligences move through the darkness between worlds, watching, learning, and perhaps waiting for us to prove ourselves worthy of the vast conversation that connects civilizations across the galaxy. 3-Eye Atlas has departed, but its message remains. In the infinite cosmos, intelligence finds a way to connect across impossible distances, and Earth has finally been noticed by the watchers among the stars.